I'll start. Okay. So, hi, good afternoon, everyone. So, we have discussed last meeting about the introduction to logic. I hope you still remember. So, I will just review in a brief moment. So, we have discussed about what is logic, why do we need logic, and I explained about what is formal and informal logic, and what is argument, and then deductive and inductive logic. We started with the puzzles, so I hope you have time to read the puzzle and solve it on your own. Okay. And yeah, so we have the steps of inference. Okay, so say from the addition you will know about numbers. From numbers you will from the addition. From the numbers you will learn about addition. From addition you will learn about multiplication and division and so on. Right. So from the logic, if you learn logic, you will learn later on about algorithm. Okay. And say, for example, if you want to learn artificial intelligence or neural network later on in later class, right? So you need to know what is Boolean logic later on that we will learn in this class, right? So yeah, there are two types of logic. One is called formal logic, okay, or symbolic logic, where we will use either propositional logic, okay, or predicate logic. And we have also informal logic, where we use natural language, okay, of our argument. Right. So the last time we also discussed a little bit about what is deductive and inductive logic, right? And then you started to say that I got confused with this and that. So, okay. Basically, when we learn about logic, we learn about just two values, okay? True or false. And there are many logic operators, okay, that you can learn later on, but the most important logic operators are just 5. What are they? Okay. Number one is OR. Okay, so I will abuse the notation here. If I said OR, I will use either a V sign like this or plus, or sometimes I will use a bar. Okay. So the next operator is called AND. Okay. So again, the symbol will be a caret, the reverse of V, or multiplication, or an ampersand, N. Next is another logic operator, an important one is called NOT, is negation. Okay, the symbol will be a tilde or minus or apostrophe. Sometimes I will use a bar on the top of the variables. So these are all of them represent negation or not. Okay. And two more logic operator, which is implication and by implication. So these are the 5 logic operators that you will learn throughout this course. So when we say implication, it's basically you will say there is a condition, if condition, then conclusion, or if antecedents of the condition, then there's some consequence. The symbol is an arrow. Okay. So we can reverse the arrow, for example, conclusion if condition, so the arrow is reversed. From the condition go to the conclusion. The next one is equivalence, or sometimes we call it by implication. So how do you know that this is a by implication? The word, the keyword, you remember the keyword is not if, but if and only if. Okay, when you hear the word if and only if, condition then conclusion, that means by implication. The symbol is a two-way arrow, okay? Two-way arrow. So sometimes we will use if with double F. Yeah, if double F, condition then consequence, that means two-way arrow is an equivalent. So those are the introduction for logic, so that at least you know the term, at least you know the symbol here. So for last week, introduction, is there any question that you still have that we want to discuss? If not, we will go to the next slide. Okay, you can go to Google Classroom and download the slide on fact and opinion. Okay, so this is an easy one. Fact and opinion. Okay. Okay. So this is our first. This is our first lesson. Okay. So earlier is just an introduction. Okay. So in this lesson, you will learn about fact and opinion and how to distinguish fact from opinion. Okay. So let us start with an example. Okay. So premise 1, all believers are going to heaven. Premise 2, Cardi is a believer. Conclusion, therefore Cardi is going to heaven. So I can put this into a symbolic logic. Okay. All X, believer X, implied go to heaven X, right? So when I said all believers are going to heaven, so this is the symbol, right? And the second premise, Cardi is a believer, so believer Cardi, or believer X, that's okay. And then therefore Cardi is going to heaven, so go to heaven Cardi. So my question to you, is this the argument good or bad? Why? Is this argument good or bad?
What do you mean with good or bad, sir?
Good question. So, if this argument could mean correct or not?
I think it's correct, but there are some circumstances that can make this not correct, I think.
Okay. Tell me.
Believer, maybe if someone believes to God,
yes,
but his behavior is not good, I don't think he will go to heaven even though he believes in God.
Right. So there are some problem here. Okay. Is which one is the problem? Is the first premise, the second premise, or the conclusion?
The first.
The first premise is the problem, right? Why?
Because I don't think all believers are going to heaven.
So this represents fact or opinion?
Opinion.
Correct, right? So this is a problem because this is an opinion rather than a fact, because we don't have a proof on this, right? So it's a belief, right? Okay, so you're correct, that this is a problem, okay? because belief is an opinion, not a fact. So the premise one is the actual problem. Okay, therefore the conclusion is problematic. So the argument is bad, right? So then my question to you, given that example, how important for you, this is our opinion, I'm asking your opinion, okay? How important for you to distinguish, okay, to differentiate fact from opinion? Give me your opinion about fact and opinion. Come on.
I think fact is about data. There's a supporting data behind it. And opinion is just like our mind.
Okay, any other answer, probably, or comments?
I think
Can you open your camera when you talk so that we can communicate better?
I think it's very important to distinguish what is fact and what is opinion, because like when we read news, we know where it is a hoax or not, because there's so many articles that just based on the author's opinion and we can read as a fact.
That's good. Okay, do you agree with that, or?
I think facts and opinions are both important, but we need to distinguish it first to know which one to believe.
Yes, so both are important, okay? Fact and opinion are important, I know. So, but question is, why do you need to distinguish them? Why is important, right? Otherwise, you learn about the fact, you learn about the opinion, but you don't know why I need to learn this. I'm just asking about your opinion. I'm not asking about the facts. Come on. Come on.
Yes.
So what's your opinion about it?
I think it's important to distinguish fact and opinion, because if you know a fact, it can be proven with evidence. But if opinion, my opinion can be different to others' opinions. So what I believe is not necessarily what others believe.
Yes. So in communication, of course, you can express your opinion, right? But fact is kind of objective, right? Okay. Whether you believe it or not, if the fact is telling that measurement, right, then you cannot say anything about it. To say that, look, I don't believe so. When you measure it, you can see it, right? But opinion is difficult to express objectively. It's more subjective, isn't it? Right? So in terms of communication, you're right. So it is more difficult to reach the conclusion with opinion, because everybody may have different opinion. Okay, great. So next question, how do you distinguish fact from opinion?
Data. It has
data. Okay.
It has to have a data. And
what kind of data? Can I fake the data?
Sorry, what?
Can I fake it?
Yes, you can fake it.
Then it's become opinion. Jocelyn, how do you distinguish fact from opinion?
Facts has evidence, or maybe verified from data from verified things, you know, like that. So it can be wrong.
Well, facts still can be wrong. Yeah, doesn't mean that the fact is always correct. Okay? There are some facts that actually fabricated, right? But at least there are some evidence on it that, you know, you can verify. Okay, so the question is how? Okay, then that is what we will learn today, actually. We will learn about how to distinguish fact from opinion. So here it is. Can you see my slide or not? I hope so.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. Okay, so fact are statements that are true or false. Hey, fact can be true, fact can be false, but they can be verified objectively and can be proven. Proven to be true or proven to be false. Okay. While opinion are statements that reflect the view, the feeling, the belief, the ideas, okay, of the people, okay, about the subject, about the topic that cannot be proven. Okay. Opinion might also be correct. Okay. You cannot say opinion are wrong. No. Okay. In fact, both, okay, fact and opinion can be true or false. The only difference is one can be proven and one cannot be proven. Okay, so the proof is the important part there. So give example. Okay, someone said it is raining now. Okay, so I can look outside and check if it is true, then it is a fact, right? But when the same person say it's going to rain later, okay, you will say, I think it will rain, but I'm not sure, right? So it is an opinion. Okay. Another example, someone stated, smoking is bad for your health. Well, you can check, okay? You can check, you can Google it, a lot of medical evidence to prove this. So it is a fact. Okay? But when someone said, the same person said, smoking is relaxing, that's subjective to him, right? So then you will see, look, for him, smoking is relaxing, but other people may disagree. So it is an opinion. Clear, yeah? So now, each of you give example of fact.
The world is getting better.
That is,
Getting better.
the world is getting better. Is that fact or opinion, Matthew?
Fact, because there's a lot of progress that have been made in this world.
Do you agree, Felicia? Felicia, do you agree with Matthew?
No, I think it's
No.
gonna be
It's
an
opinion, Matthew.
Yes.
That is not fact. Because you feel that, but other people may not feel that. That is feeling. Feeling is opinion. Okay.
I have a fact, sir.
Okay. What is your fact?
You cannot see sun at night.
You cannot see sun at night. That is a fact. Very good.
We're living in Earth.
We are living in, okay, on Earth.
1 + 1 is 2.
1 + 1 is 2 is a fact. Okay.
It's 1450 now.
Now is
1450.
1450. Okay, that's a fact. Choice. Jocelyn.
Horse has 4 legs. Horse has 4 legs.
Horse have 4 legs. That's a fact. Okay, Tamara.
I am a human.
You are human. That's a fact. You feel?
Surabaya is country.
Surabaya is a country. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Opinion.
Hey. Fact.
It's a fact. It's wrong, but it's fact. Right? Remember, fact can be wrong, okay?
Hey, no, not country, city. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. Indonesia is country, but Surabaya is city.
Yeah. No, fact can be true or false, okay?
Yeah.
So you say Surabaya is a country, is false, but it is a fact.
Mr. Kardi, I have a question.
Please, please.
You say before after this it will rain.
After this it will rain.
It's not fact.
It's not fact because after this we are not sure yet.
But we have a perakiraan cuaca.
Okay, you have a what is that? The fiction.
Perakiraan cuaca.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So it's based on science, then you will say this is a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Right. So if you have proof, then it is a fact. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Proof, okay. Then it becomes opinion.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask as well. Before I say it like the earth is getting better, it's an opinion, right?
Opinion, because better. The word better.
Yeah. Oh, I see. But what if I change it into the earth are in a good condition based on the books that I read?
Yeah, that's probably correct because there are some facts in that that prove it, right?
Okay, I see, I see.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
The problem is when you hear it, you know. Okay, there are certain keywords, right? When you say better, oh, that's opinion because better. Okay, better for you, not for me. Correct. That's the keyword you can see. Okay, check the keyword. Okay, next let's.
Mister, I want to ask something.
Oh, go ahead.
What's about if there are many people with same opinion, like the smoking is relaxing, and there are a lot of people that say is it considered a fact?
Yeah. So, for example, about the smoking, right? So the people, the medical people, do some experiment, right? They measure it. Okay. So they gather people who are smoker and non-smoker. Okay. They do a trial on that, and then they check after many years, and then statistically speaking, okay, that people who smoke will get worse compared to the people who don't smoke. So this is called inductive, okay, inductive technique in logic. Later we will learn about that, right? That generally speaking, it is a fact.
So with a lot of opinion can be a fact.
So at certain point, the boundary between fact and opinion can be blurred. Okay, there is no clear distinction between fact and opinion at certain point. Okay. So that's a good question, Kenneth. Yeah. Okay, so next. Let me share again. So this is my examples. The sun is a star, humans are mammals, living things are made up one or more cells, right? So these are my example of opinion. Okay, your friend said all ice cream is tasty. Why this opinion is taste, right? So now give me example of opinion. Each of you. This is easy. Opinion is easy, right?
I'm so handsome.
Oh, you are so handsome. Yes. Oh, the girls are laughing. Come on, girls. Give appreciation. Okay. Next, who?
Me.
Felicia.
Tamara is funny.
Tamara is funny. Okay. So that is opinion. Next. Who want to give? Each of you, come on. Matthew.
The world is getting better.
Yeah, that's a while ago. Can you give another one?
I like white.
Okay, you like white. Okay. Your preference is opinion. That's correct. Okay. Kenneth, opinion. You know, giving opinion is easier than giving a fact. Because you can express any feeling that you have, any belief that you have.
All girls love me, sir.
All girls love you. That's your opinion, Billy. That's correct. Jocelyn.
The weather is getting hot.
The weather is getting hot. Okay. I'm not sure that's the boundary between fact and opinion.
It's hot right now.
It's what? Kenneth?
It's hot right now.
It's hot right now. It can be fact, not opinion, right? Because you can measure it. Or give your opinion. Opinion is a feeling. If opinion is preference, come on. Kenneth, Jocelyn, give another one. Kamala.
Pancakes is better than waffles.
Oh, that's opinion. Good. Many survey, okay, many questionnaire, they will ask your opinion, not asking your fact. In fact, there are two types of questionnaire survey. Okay, they give a name. Okay, one is called stated preference. The other one is called reveal preference. RP and SP. Okay, you can check in Google. So reveal preference is asking about the fact. For example, they are asking how many minutes you go from your home to your office. That is asking about the fact, reveal preference. Okay. And another one is called stated preference. Okay. They are asking about if the price of the bus is 20,000 okay, per trip, are you going to use it or not? It's an opinion. Okay. They are asking your opinion or they are asking your fact. Can you distinguish that? Can
Sir,
Can you repeat?
Yeah, you were a little bit laggy when you said that.
Okay, I need to speak slowly then. The internet is unstable. Okay, there are two types of questionnaire survey. You know questionnaire survey, right? Okay, one is called RP, reveal preference. Okay, the other one is called SP, stated preference. Okay, What's the difference? Refill preference is asking about fact. For example, they are asking about how long you go from your home to your office. How many minutes? That is measurable, isn't it? That is refill preference. How much do you pay for your transportation? That is refill preference. Okay? So how about stated preference? It's asking about your opinion. So then they will ask, if the price of the gasoline is 20,000 per liter, are you going to buy it or not? Okay. They are asking about, your answer is yes or no, but they are asking about your opinion. It's not asking about the fact. Correct? Okay. Then they will increase the price. If the price of the gasoline per liter is 100,000, are you going to buy it or not? Then you said, ridiculous, I will not buy. Right. So they're asking about your opinion. So stated preference is asking opinion. Refill preference is asking about the fact. Both are useful, okay? They can be used for determining the policy. Right. So the fact is measuring about right now, what is happening, right? Opinion may measure something in the future. What if? So both are useful. Is it clear? Okay, next. Where are my slides? So, yes, please.
Sorry, I wanted to ask before we continue.
Yes.
Cannot say that the weather is getting hot and it's a fact. But,
it is a fact because you can measure it using thermometer now.
But not other people will think that when example like me at cannot place doesn't mean that I feel hot.
I can understand that.
Feel hot.
Right. So what cannot say it can be opinion, can be fact, right? But the question is, can be proven or not? Right. So how do you know that this is fact? If it can be proven, right? So say the temperature now is 30 degrees. Oh, it's hot, right?
Oh, sir. It means the opinion that I said is of fact and not an opinion.
What is your opinion a while ago?
All girls love me. You can just ask a random girl and they say they don't love me.
Yes. Okay. So I said there are certain things that blur. Okay, that the blur between distinguish between fact and opinion. Okay. Everything that measurable can be a fact. Okay. That something that not measurable can become opinion. But you will say, I'm a scientist, right? So I know even things that actually preference, for example, belief. Okay. Love. Can you measure love? You said no. Faith. Can you measure faith?
No.
No. Okay. If you ask me, I will say yes. How do you measure love? This is a good question, right? Okay. How do you measure love? Anyone? Opinion? Okay, go. How do you measure love? How do you measure faith?
Can love be measured by data?
How do you measure it? How you collect the data?
if, let's say, Billy give several girls that do you love me, and get the feedback and say 50% of the girls love him, it can be a fact, right?
So inductive, right? So there is also possibility to measure. So everything, okay, like opinion, like preference. Nowadays, when you learn about science, okay, there are things that we measure. It's called distance. Distance. What? We can measure the distance? Yes, we can measure the distance. Love can be measured as a distance. So how do you know? How do you measure love as distance? Well, distance to what? For example, okay, faith. Okay, faith to God, right? How do you measure faith? You can measure it as a distance. What distance? Not distance in the meter, okay? So you can measure it as distance mean the difference, okay, of his or her preference toward certain things that you measure as distant. Example, I give you an example. Faith can be measured of something like this. How many times do you pray, for example? So if you are Christian, how many times do you read the Bible? Okay. Or if you are a Muslim, how many times do you read your Al-Quran, for example? Right? So we measure things like faith as more not actual faith, but how religious are you? See, example, how many times do you actually attend the Sunday service if you're Christian, for example, or what is that, the Friday service in the mosque, right? So that kind of thing's measurable, isn't it? Okay. Then the next question to you is, yes, it's measurable, but doesn't it really reflect the faith? Probably not. Yes, you can say that. But at the same time, we cannot measure directly, but we can measure indirectly, isn't it? So those are indirect measurements. So the same thing with love. But how often do you go together? How often you think about that person that you love, right? So you can measure how often, okay? It's a distance, isn't it? Distance towards certain goal, towards certain feeling. So feeling can be measured. So in the area of psychology, in the area of social science, okay, we measure things. In theology, for example, we can measure things like that indirectly, okay, not directly. So that opinion now becomes fact. Why? Because there is measurable. You can generalize it. You can create theory from that. Interesting, right?
So I wanna ask.
Cool.
If I have a preference, like I like to play basketball, is it a fact or an opinion?
If you just say I like to play basketball, you like, okay?
I like playing basketball.
Yeah, then that is opinion.
That's opinion.
That is opinion, your opinion. You like.
Oh, so it's not a fact.
It's not a fact.
Oh, okay.
Because it's your opinion that you like. Correct.
So I want to ask something. What if I say that I am introvert and that like MBTI to fit, but I ask about my friends, maybe let's say 100 friends, and the results is different. Which ones to be more reliable?
Again, so your question is about reliability, right? It's not about fact or opinion. So when you start to measure it, it becomes a fact. It's no longer opinion. say you said, Billy, earlier, you said, I like basketball, right? I said, that's opinion. Okay. Then you add in your argument, look, I measure it that every week I play 3 times or 5 times to prove that this is a fact. Well, now it become fact, not opinion anymore. Because you prove it. So now you see the blur between the fact and opinion. It's just that one statement, I like basketball, is an opinion. Correct.
Mr. Kadi,
Yes, please.
if I say my room is hot, there is opinion.
Your room is hot. First time you heard it, it's opinion. Right? And Kenneth also said the same thing.
Yeah.
I feel hot. So it's an opinion in the beginning. But when you said, look, I can say that I can measure that. I have a temperature here. Okay. Thermometer here. I can measure the temperature. It's really hot. Then it becomes a fact. Okay. There are certain things that, again, if it is measurable, okay. So the blur between fact and opinion is actually in the inductive logic, because statistic is now part of the fact, right? Yes, go.
If many things can be measured right now, is the effect that can't be proven? Is there a fact that can't be proven?
Is there a fact that cannot be proven a lot?
For example?
Things that, for example, within the realm of religion, for example. Right? So say in the beginning, I said, I go to heaven. Right? So how do yes, I cannot measure that. Right? Unless I die and come back. Right? And I bring something to prove that. So it's difficult. There are many things that cannot be proven. Okay.
Sir, just to check. So this is my understanding, sir. So faith, when you say faith, example, if I say it like I have faith in God, it's opinion. But if I say I have faith in God because I read the Bibles like how many times and I believe blah 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 blah, it's a fact.
Become a fact because you measure it.
Ah, I see. Okay, thank you, sir.
Right. Okay, huh? So let's go to the next. Oh, how about expert opinion? It's an opinion, but the opinion from the expert, is it a fact or opinion? This is the difficult.
It's still an opinion, I think, if there is no proof.
Well, usually when you call them expert, okay, you listen. Are they explaining based on fact or actually just opinion? Okay, look at the word that they use. I believe, then it's opinion. Okay, when the keyword you will know from the fact. Okay, fact or opinion. If they said I believe, that means opinion. Okay. When they start to say, okay, this is the data that I have. Okay, and this is the conclusion that I use. Then it becomes informed opinion. It is a fact. Even though it's just opinion of the expert, but they usually have a statement based on fact. That's why we call them expert, But many in Indonesia especially, okay, so many people are telling them they are expert, but when you ask them, they're not stating the fact, but they are stating their opinion. then it's a fake expert in that case, right? Okay. Okay, so this is the clue to identify the expert, okay? So first is, does the expert have current and relevant background to the topic that they discuss, right? So anybody can claim themselves as expert, but they never have education on it, they never have paper on it, they never do any research on that, then it's just a claim of expert. It's not really having a background as an expert. Okay. And second, usually, is the expert generally respected within the field. Okay. So the famous expert usually highly respected within the field. Okay. And third, you ask, does the expert carefully signal, okay, via judgment word to identify whether they are presenting opinion or fact? You can hear the keyword that they repeat. Okay, when they said in fact, or they use say, then when they said I believe, okay, then you start to know. Okay, the expert will be very careful in their word, right? Oh, question, opinion. So it's important to know that fact is not always true. Okay, the same thing with opinion, is not always true. Okay. What makes it different is true.
You say that if the experts say, I believe, and in fact, the difference for a fact and opinion. But if they said in fact, but the statement is not cannot be proven,
can be done like that. So
it's the opinion.
It's their opinion. Okay. If they say in fact, but what they state is actually belief, so then you start to doubt whether they are expert or not, right? Okay. So when we said fact is not always true, so what makes the difference between fact and opinion is it can be proven to be true or not. Okay. So it's the proof, it's the burden of proof that make the difference between fact and opinion. Okay. Now, proof being evidence, right? How do you get evidence? The evidence can be gathered through observation, okay, experiment, maybe questionnaire, right? Through simulation, sensing devices, you put sensor, okay? So, or you can gather evidence through literature, okay? Reading a lot of books and then you summarize. Those are evidence. Okay. Second characteristic of fact is verifiable. Verified. You can verify, okay, using the same tool, using the same method. Okay, then you can verify that it is a fact. You will get similar result in different time. Okay, sometimes if the fact is actually verifiable in space, then you can also get similar result in different place, not just time. Okay, there are several examples, okay, of real expert actually, but they get shamed because their work is not verifiable. Okay, there is one professor in Korea, South Korea, okay, he claimed that he can clone human. Professor Wang, you can check in Google. Professor Wang clone human. He was #1 top professor in South Korea. It's like God. Okay. And he asked his postdoctoral students to create a paper, and Probably his student is the one who cheated, we don't know. Okay, he did not check very well. And they publish it in very well-known journal. So he is already very well-known and he published in very well-known journal. And people from different countries start to repeat his experiment and cannot get it. Okay, what happened? Then they ask, are you sure what you are doing is correct? Because we cannot get it. And then he said, that's a secret. Okay, you publish it and you say it's a secret, right? Then they start to talk about it. And eventually the paper was retracted and now he is in jail because he published wrong result. That is not verifiable. In fact, until now, okay, we never heard that someone can clone human yet. Right? It was several years ago anyway. So verifiable is very important. Okay. Next characteristic of fact, what? The fact must be unbiased, objective, not subjective. Okay. Again, this is the boundary is blurred. Why? Because when you are in social science, okay, like in psychology, in political science, well, all the facts are subjective, never objective, isn't it? Right? When you ask people opinion, and then say in politics, right, you ask people opinion, or will this person win or not, right? Then it's always subjective, not objective. Okay. But we can always measure the bias, okay, using statistics. Okay, we can check the standard deviation, for example. Okay, the error, the standard error, right? So in that case, we can check whether it's a fact or opinion based on that. Again, measurable. Okay, so in science, the evidence must be what? Repeatable. In science, especially in science. So repeatable, when I said repeatable, mean using the same tool, using the same method, okay, you will get the same result, not only in different time, but also in different space.
Sir, I want to ask. How if you compare science with religion, it's sometimes not compatible. Like if God exists, like we cannot prove it, but in religion is say yes.
Correct. So that is the difference between religion and science. Okay, but there are also similarities. In religion, you have faith, right? From the faith, you get the dogma. The dogma is the rules. In science, exactly the same as religion, we have also faith. What is the faith in science? Well, we don't call it faith, we call it axioms. Later, yeah, in chapter 8, you check in Google Classroom. Can you go in Google Classroom? I think I have. Oh, I did not upload. Evaluating argument in proposition. Oh, there. In proposition, theory development, number 17 in Google Classroom. Okay, later. Okay, still very long, but you will see there. Okay, all science start with faith. Okay, of course they don't name it faith. Okay, but they call it axiom, postulate. Okay, so but what is this postulate or axiom? It is faith. Why? Because you start with something that is not provable. Okay. So exactly the same, science and religion in this case, isn't it? Okay. So you start with something that's not provable. Okay. And then from there, okay, in religion you create dogma, in science you create proposition, you create theorem. Okay. Now what's the difference in that? We start with faith, right? And then create the rules. It's the same, isn't it? Well, the difference is one. Okay. The difference is one. What? In science, when you start with faith and you create the rules, which is the proposition, the theorem, and so on. Okay. And in one time, so the proposition must be proven based on that axiom and that faith a while ago. And in one time, if there is inconsistency, right, there are some facts that actually against that, then the whole theory collapses. Okay. If the whole theory collapses, what they will do? They will abandon the theory, or they will create a new explanation, new theory based on that. That is science. Do you want an example? Okay, something that you know. Something that you know. I always give this example. Something that you know. In geometry. In high school, you learn geometry, isn't it? Okay. The whole geometry that you learn until now, okay, it's called Euclidean geometry. What is Euclidean geometry? Okay. In Euclid, 2000 years before Christ, okay, started with axioms. What is axioms? Something that stated without proof. Okay, I give you an example. Euclid said there is a point, there is a line. Okay, refresh me. What is point? You learn from kindergarten until now. There are points, there are lines, right? What is point? Tell me. Okay, in this class, I will make you into skeptic. Okay. So, what is point? What is line?
Point is one-dimensional object.
Huh?
One-dimensional object.
One-dimensional object. Okay. So can you draw me a point?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Kenneth will draw a point. That is a point?
Maybe.
Yes, maybe. Do you agree?
Yes.
Most of you will say agree with that, right? It's a point. He just make a circle, right? Then I said, look, if I zoom that, is a circle, not a point. Because you said it's a one dimensional, but I can see the dimension there. Now I start to argue about it, right? Then you said, okay, I will say like this, draw me a line. Who is good in geometry before? Come on, can you draw a line? Oops. Matthew, can you draw a line?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Draw me a line. Anyone can draw a line? Yes, Felicia, draw me a line. Oh, there a line? Is that a line? Or is a segment of line? It's a line segment, isn't it? It's not line. Because in geometry, line is what? From infinity to infinity, isn't it? Correct? You learn that, but you
Isn't line from point to point?
No, that's line segment. Why you never argue during high school when your first teacher tell you about the line?
Get angry, sir, the teacher.
Angry? Oh, you argue with me, I will not angry. In fact, I want you to argue with me. Okay, be critical, right? Be skeptical. Don't agree with me. Okay? Line based on geometry, based on Euclid, is from infinity to infinity. Line does not exist. Line does not exist. Is it useful? Yes, of course. Now you can build a house based on that, right? Correct. Oh, I saw in Tamara's there is a line there, right? With this, from that they create the bookshelf in your back, right? Okay, so it's useful, but line does not.
Sorry.
Yes, go.
What did you say?
Correct. Line does not exist. Yes. Now you start to realize, oh no, how many years you go to from kindergarten until now, you did not realize that they tell you lies. Right. Line does not exist. Okay, it's a concept. Okay? It's an axiom. It's a faith that you accept without proof. Right. So Euclidean geometry, okay, the point does not exist, the line does not exist. Okay. From there, they create the whole useful geometry. Right. In fact, all things that you learn in geometry does not exist. The circle, the triangle does not exist, isn't it? It's just concept that we think about. Anyway, but it doesn't mean it's not useful. It is useful. Now you start to think. Right?
So,
one thing is important in geometric is two parallel lines. Two parallel lines. Okay, if you have two parallel lines, will they meet to each other? Will they intersect? Never.
No.
No? Really, did you learn that? That two parallel lines never intersect? Right. That's what you learn in Euclidean geometry. Okay. From 200 years before Christ until 18th centuries. 18th centuries now. That is 200 years ago. Right? So from 200 years ago or 300 years ago, people start to think differently. Hey, these axioms, okay, this faith is incorrect. Why? Two parallel lines does meet. Oh, really? How can two parallel lines meet? They meet at infinity. Okay, if you look at the, maybe I should search in Google. Yeah.
So I want to ask about the line.
The line, go.
You say that line is from infinity to infinity, yes?
Mm-hmm.
But before that, you say that with a lot of opinion, it can form a fact. But many people say that a line is from point to point. Can it be
line segment? That's the by definition. That's called line segment.
But many people opinions say that point to point is a line. Can it be a fact?
We are talking about definition here, right? Definition is not fact. It's not opinion. Something that you define. So you go back to your geometric book, or you can Google it. What is the difference between line and line segment? Go. Google it now. Okay, this is not a fact or opinion because this is definition. Is that correct? That line is from infinity to infinity. Yes, yes, yes. So what's the difference between line and line segment? Yes. Not everybody doing like this. Okay. So parallel line does meet or intersect in infinity. Okay, say suppose you are looking at the road or the rail, okay? And because of your perspective view, you will see that the rail will meet each other at certain point, isn't it? Did you see a perspective drawing? Oh, you learned that in high school, right? You draw with a perspective point of view. It become look like 3D, right? Then you will see the two parallel line is actually meet at point of infinity, right? In the horizon. So that is the start from the art, actually. This is not from science. When the artists start to draw 3D, okay, in 16th centuries, right? They start to draw 3D, yeah? 3 dimension of art. Then they start to see that the line, when they meet at infinity, is actually intersect to each other. So from the art, come back to mathematics, become geometry of now what is called non-Euclidean geometry. Google it, non-Euclidean geometry. Okay, you did not learn in high school, I know. Okay. But it doesn't mean doesn't exist. And this is like several centuries already, so this is not new. Okay. Non-Euclidean geometry. Did you check? Okay, now you are smiling. Right. So, what they do? They attack the assumption. They attack the faith part of science. Okay? They don't attack the theorem, the proposition, the theorem. They attack the one that is not provable. That's how you change the science. Okay. Now become new science. They now become a new mathematics, isn't it? Called new non-Euclidean geometry. Why? Again, because the axiom is not correct. One of the axioms is not correct. Interesting? Yes. Oh, cool. If you have any question, any comment, opinion, go.
Yes, sir. I wanted to ask. I've read some pages like from YouTube as well. What do you think? They say like mathematics is already there, so we just figure it out, or we created mathematics.
That's correct. Mathematics has been with us like several centuries, right? Several centuries. And one thing I appreciate about mathematicians is their way of thinking and their way of referring to each other. They are very strong in giving respect to others. Okay. So they always cite this person already did this, okay, and then they create something new out of that fact that already done by other people. Okay, so based on the theory that has been done by other people. So they build on top of each other over several centuries, right? That means what? That means you have accumulate of knowledge. Okay, several not just centuries, but millennium. Accumulate of knowledge over millenniums. This is what makes the mathematics beautiful. Okay. And their willingness to accept, okay, that if it is one fact, okay, is a counter example, just one counter example that against that, all the theory that they make will create the whole thing's collapse. Okay, the willingness to accept the critics, okay, the fact, the objective fact that make everything that they believe they work for whole life collapse. That kind of attitude, that kind of objectivity is the one that appreciate, isn't it? Okay. In fact, the way I'm looking at mathematics is like weapon. Okay. Of course, when I do, for example, undergrad, I love mathematics. I can do it. Okay, just practice and so on. Until one day, I get to meet one of Nobel Prize winner. Okay, and he's talking about, look, the whole mathematics is actually for you to use. You don't really need to develop mathematics because it's already developed by the mathematician. Right? Unless you're a mathematician, of course, you need to develop that. But if you're not mathematician, what you need to do is just to use the mathematics that has been proven by a mathematician. Right? And that is very powerful weapon. Very powerful. Okay. Okay. So now give me example of bias fact. Give me an example of bias fact. It is a fact, but bias. How do you make a bias fact?
My friend is better at mathematics than Billy.
Bias means not true. Okay, so when you don't provide complete information, so this is the whole information, you hide something, then that information becomes biased because you are hiding something. Okay, or you are intentionally ignore or left out some information. Why? Because probably you want to persuade the reader. You want to persuade the mass, the public. So that is become bias. Or if you allow your own personal experience to cloud with any sense of objectivity. You're not just stating the fact, but you are mixing opinion with the fact. Okay, then it becomes bias. Okay. So I have a practice here. Let me share with you a practice here. Can you see it? So Tell me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Is this a bias fact or not? And then how do you know that this is a bias fact?
Number 1 is a bias, sir.
Okay. Why? Which qualifying word that make it bias?
Terrible.
Correct. Okay. Number 2. Number 2 is bias or not?
No.
It is bias. What qualifying word that make it bias?
Wonderful.
Correct. So all of that are bias. Okay. So number 3.
Is the best.
Correct. Okay. Number 4.
Amazing.
Yes. And number 5.
Worthwhile.
Yeah, the worthwhile. Okay. So you can see that. Okay, when people start to put qualifying word like this, okay, which is always in marketing, right? Then it becomes bias. Okay. So can you give example of fact and then state it as biased or unbiased and explain why you think it's biased or unbiased? Anyone? So think about it. Okay, I will make it fact. Okay. Then make it biased or unbiased.
My mother is the best cook.
Okay, your mother is the best cook. No opinion. It's not fact. Come on.
I have a fact, sir.
Okay. Go.
When our heart stop, we will die. And
Okay.
it's unbiased.
Unbiased. Very good, Billy. Go. Jocelyn. Everyone of you will give anyway.
I have a biased one.
Okay, you have bias one.
My mother is the most beautiful girl I've ever seen.
That is opinion. Not
Oh, really? Okay.
again, the same as Kenneth. Okay. Opinion. Jocelyn, give me a fact, bias or unbiased. Matthew, Tamara, Alicia, Nifir, come on. Okay, short Google, short Google.
Oh, I know, sir. Aduh, I think it's an opinion.
So easier for us actually to state the opinion rather than fact, right?
Sir, I think I have a biased fact. Soap, some commercial soap will clean 99.9% germs.
Okay. So that one is biased.
Yeah, biased.
Okay. Which qualifying word make it biased?
99.9%. Actually, it's not really 9.9.
Okay. So they change the information. Okay.
Yeah.
Good one, Matthew. Come on, you find a biased or unbiased fact. You feel? Tamara, yeah.
The beautiful capital city of Japan is Tokyo.
That's a fact.
A bias fact.
Yes, one, because you put it beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, good. You just put qualifier, suddenly become bias one. Okay, you just take a fact and then you add some qualifier on it. Okay, make it wonderful, beautiful, whatever it is. Right? Suddenly become bias.
Why isn't it an opinion, sir?
It is still fact, right? It is. She said Tokyo is the capital of Japan. It's a fact. Okay, but by adding qualifier beautiful, that become opinion. The beautiful one is opinion, but still fact. Yeah. So if you remove the word beautiful, still fact. Right.
I know.
Yeah.
Listening to music when you study will only distract you.
It's a fact.
Yeah, and I think it's biased.
Why is it biased?
Because some people love to listen to music when they study.
So there are certain people who do that. Some people don't, right? Alicia, you want to say something?
However, Mr. Cardi is the smarter lecturer, our smarter lecturer.
That's bias.
Can you? That's
Right.
bias.
Yeah, that's bias.
Yes.
Okay, so you can see the qualifying word there. Okay, Jocelyn. Who did not state their bias part? Yeah, easy to find actually. Okay. Okay, let's continue. These are the questions that you can use. Okay. Probably you can use to identify the fact, right? So, can the statement be proven? Yeah, this is to be proven, okay, or demonstrated to be true. Right? Can the statement be observed in practice or in operation? Okay. Can you see that happen? And can the statement be verified by witness, by a manuscript, or by a document? These are way to identify the fact. Okay, so the fact can be stated based on the proof, demonstration, in practice, yeah, some experience, or by witness, okay? Especially in the court, right? The law, and by literature, manuscript, or documents. Okay, and these are the clues to identify the opinion. Okay. First is the position on controversial issues. Okay. Second is prediction about something in the future, like the first example a while ago. Yeah, Cardi will go to heaven. So it's a prediction about the future, then it's an opinion that we never know, right? So third is evaluation of people, place, and things. Okay, it's a judgment. Okay. Another clue is use a bias word. Okay, so like a while ago when we say, okay, it's a fact that Tokyo is the capital of Japan. Okay, when you put beautiful, okay, then it starts to become opinion, right? So it's a bias fact. And next is to contain some qualifier. Okay? All, always, likely, okay? Never, possibly, probably. So these are not always, but the kind of qualifier that is probably fact. This is probably opinion. Okay? These are the clues. We call this indicator, okay, fact and opinion indicator. You will see when you read some news or some paper, okay, there are certain keywords that I put there in the red. Okay, when they said annual report confirm, the confirm usually confirm of the fact, right? Scientists recently discover some fact, right? According to the result, those are usually keyword that representing before the fact. Okay, but this keyword on the right, it's like claim, view, argue, suspect. Usually they are used before certain opinion. But of course, somebody can abuse it, okay? They can use a confirm, but actually they are stating opinion that is possible. This is just generalization, okay? So now let's practice this. Which of the following sign that you are reading is actually opinion? So say the author write about what he or she thinks, believe, feel about the topic. Is this opinion or fact?
Opinion.
Okay. The same information can be found across many reliable sources. Is this opinion or fact?
Fact.
Yeah. If the same resources or if the same information can be found across many reliable sources, then it is not opinion, this is fact. Okay. Now, if you disagree with someone's view of the author, fact or opinion?
Opinion.
Opinion.
Yes, opinion. You disagree. Okay. So information presented is universally agreed to be true.
Fact.
Fact or opinion?
Fact.
The word, the qualifier there.
Fact.
The qualifier is universally.
Opinion.
Yeah, become opinion, okay? How about this? This is about electricity, okay? People cannot cook without electricity.
Fact, but wrong fact.
Yeah, it's a wrong fact. Electricity travels at speed of light.
Fact.
Right? Families could be using more electricity than necessary.
Opinion.
Opinion, okay? Everyone should save on their usage of electricity.
Opinion.
Opinion.
Opinion, you will, what is the qualifier word here? Should. Right? If you remove the should, it may become a fact if you have the proof. But when you listen to the word should, then become opinion. So, with fewer cars on the road, there is less air pollution. Is this fact or opinion?
Fact.
Opinion. Opinion.
Opinion, why? Why opinion, why fact?
because basically right now the one that give a lot of air pollution is not cars, but it's also from construction, it's also from airport.
Okay, so remember, fact can be wrong, right? Fact can be wrong.
Fact.
So what's the difference between fact and opinion again?
Opinion cannot be proven.
Yes. So can we prove that fewer car on the road, there is less air pollution?
Yes, we can.
We can, then it is a fact. Okay, it's a fact. How about this? Which of the following statements are opinion? Okay, so Pulau Jawa is an island that is part of Indonesia. Fact or opinion?
Fact.
Fact.
Fact, right? Okay. Second, Indonesia independent in 1950. Fact or opinion?
Fact.
Fact.
Fact can be wrong. Okay, fact can be wrong. So this is wrong, but this is fact. Okay. Internet is the best place to search for source of information.
Opinion.
Opinion. Okay. It's opinion. So the last one, history of Java is very interesting.
Opinion.
Yes, you're good. Okay, next practice. Okay, I give you time to read. So Michael Awan is clear that there is a difference between fact and opinion. He is disappointed by the fact of the fans' opinion of him, but believe that knowing the fact might change that opinion. So you read the article first. Anyone can help me to read for all? So this is your practice. Which part of this is opinion? Which part of this is fact? Tell me which one of these articles that in the box is fact. What are the fact? And what are the opinion? So tell me which one is the fact?
The fact is that the score is 0-0.
The score is 0-0 is what? Fact, right?
Yes.
Yes. What other fact there that you can find? What other fact there that you can find?
He got booed from the audience.
Yes, that is a fact. All the numbers there. Is there any other number from aside from 0-0?
81 minutes.
81 minutes.
Yes, that is fact, right? And which one is opinion?
When he said the fans would have not done that if they know the real the real fact about him.
So disappointed is a fact or opinion?
Opinion.
He was disappointed. Okay, he was disappointed. Okay, it's an opinion. Okay. So yeah, the answer is there, right? So these are the, if you check on the record of the same person, okay, you can see, oh, what happened to this? Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes. So these are the fact that you can also Google it, right? And these are the opinion. Right? The boost and the what happened to the facts. Okay. Okay, how about this? Is the statement below fact or opinion? Recent statement made by the council confirmed that most residents do not want a further expansion of one-way system of street.
A fact.
Why is it fact and why it is opinion?
Because it's been confirmed.
Right. It's been confirmed. So this is the confirm is the keyword, right? Right. The keyword for fact, right? But most residents don't want further expansion from one way. We are not sure yet at this point, right? So this is called abuse of fact. Okay. So I've said, a fact and opinion can be manipulated. Okay. Opinion can be presented as fact simply by using the language of fact to present them. Okay. So there is very little evidence to back the statement. Okay. The council may make the statement about increasing number of one-way street, but this does not mean that local residents were surveyed, that their response were recorded in any way. Right. So if they do, then it becomes fact. If they don't, it's simply manipulation of the way to express. Okay. The word confirm here is look like fact, but we are not sure at this point. Probably opinion. Okay, unless they give evidence on it. Okay. Okay, here. So which one is opinion, which one is a fact? Alligator provide no physical care for their young. Fact or opinion?
Fact.
Humans should be concerned about the use of pesticide that kill insect at the bottom of food chain.
Opinion.
Why is it opinion?
Should
be concerned, right? Okay, good. Now you are very smart. There are 28 more humans living on Earth now than there were 10 seconds ago.
Fact.
Okay, fact. We must bear greater responsibility for the environment than our ancestors did.
Opinion.
Yes. How do you know?
Because there is no proof. Maybe we must
bear responsibilities, right? So this is clearly a suggestion, right? So must bear responsibilities is a suggestion, so it's an opinion, not fact. Nuclear power is the only viable solution to our dwindling natural resources.
Opinion.
Opinion. Which word that make it opinion?
Is the only.
Yeah,
It's the
it's
only. It's the only. So become opinion. The qualifying word make it opinion. Next. Oh, there's an assignment. Okay. Find a recent news article. Okay. And you can highlight the fact in bold and underline the opinion. If it is fact, can you show the proof that may exist? So the assignment is important. Okay. Just get the news article. You want it to be group or as individual?
group.
Group, okay. So you form a group today, okay, 2 to 3 person, and then tell me your group name and then the list of members in group project 1 name in Google Classroom. Okay, then I create a new assignment here. What is the assignment? Assignment fact on opinion. Okay. Then I will just copy and paste here. So in the group, you start to, so you submit it here, okay? In Google Classroom. So when do you think you will finish? Next week is okay? Monday? On the 30th?
Next week is okay.
Okay, yeah, 1 week, yeah. So,
Sir, is there any minimum facts or opinion in the article?
you decide.
Oh, okay, sir.
Minimum is 1, okay? Minimum is 1. Okay. So I give you the assignment. Just to practice for you. Okay. Oh, you want to have another assignment of writing a report about your city? This is individual, is it okay? This is the fact or opinion here is group. Write it as group. The second assignment is individual, is that okay? So you write a report about your city, your village, your hometown, basically. Okay. Say you, oh, I come from Bali, or I come from Kalimantan. Okay. So, and then you give a mix of fact and opinion in your report, and then you highlight which one is opinion, which one is fact. Okay, so these are the questions that help you to create. Okay. So I'll give you the next assignment, again, fact and opinion, this time on individual, okay? Individual. Just write a report about your own. Hometown or village. When do you want it to be? Next week also?
Yeah, I think it's next week
Fine
also
also?
is good. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so again, this is just for practice, okay? Any question about this? You highlight, okay, which one is opinion, which one is fact. For practice. So next week, okay, but we can start now. We will discuss about concept and assumption. All right, so this slide. Okay, we'll discuss about concept and assumption. So, of course, the goal is to identify the concept, to identify the assumption, and to recognize hidden assumption. Okay. So what is that concept? Concept is an idea about particular phenomenon. People abstract from the specific experience. Okay. Concept summarize and categorize object based on concept. We can give names. Here are examples of concept. Flowering plants have flowers that develop into fruits, roots, stems, and leaves. So the concept of plants, okay, is an abstract, isn't it? It's an abstract concept. Actually, everything that we thought have name is actually a concept. Okay. Another example here, heat energy is the random disorderly motion of molecule. So again, heat energy is a concept. The term temperature is also concept. Okay, hot on cold, to touch, concrete, as to read as on the thermometer. So this is actually what? Temperature is an abstract, okay, of average kinetic molecular energy. The physicists will talk like that. Okay. So many things in our life, so all of this name here in this slide is called concept. Okay. Okay, whether it is area, volume, density, flowers, energy, are all concepts. Okay. The same things. Okay. When we said about money, family, countries, education, okay, religion, government, logic, okay, these are all concepts or shared ideas. Okay, until here first, the concept. What do you think? I said money is just concept. It's a concept, meaning it's a shared ideas. Does it exist? Oh no.
It's a concept.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does money actually exist?
We made it. Humans made it.
Yes. Money is an agreement. Exists based on the agreement. Correct? Okay? So if people don't understand this, they say, I will rob your money. What do you rob? Okay? Okay, I will steal your money. Well, what do you actually steal? What you actually steal is just the accounting of the money. Right? Because money is concept. Family is a concept. Okay. I did not say this is useful or not useful. Money is useful, of course. We use it, okay? But at the same time, family is also useful. So these are concepts. But this is shared ideas. Country is a concept. Education is a concept. Right. So religion is a concept. Okay. Don't kill me for that, okay? Sometimes, if you look people fight over it, kill each other over it. Isn't that funny? Because they kill each other because of concept. Wow. When you start to realize this, suddenly something heavy on you, isn't it? It's a concept. We give name. Okay. In fact, there is a concept that we created just recently, maybe 1 or 2 centuries. It's called corporation. You know what is corporation, right? Okay, tell me, Matthew, what is corporation?
Like a company.
Okay.
Corp.
What's the difference between a company as corporation and private proprietary?
Private what?
You know, say, if I make a company, okay, and I'm the sole owner of it, is it a corporation? No, right?
No.
No, so what make it corporation?
Like when it collaborates with other company, like it make an agreement or something. Like basically Tokopedia and Gojek, Goto. It's
Corporation mean you have several owners that the corporation have, the owners have share on the corporation. And the nice thing about corporation is the corporation pay tax on its own. What does it mean? Mean the country recognize corporation to have a life. Okay? Meaning you cannot kill corporation, but the judge in the court can kill corporation. The owner of corporation die, the corporation still alive. Correct? It's not depend on the owner. So it's a concept that we created for the business concept that actually become a living being that pay tax. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing concept. When we said money country, that's a long time ago already. So you accept it as it is, right? But then I said, a corporation is just recently, right? When the idea, okay, when you have an idea and you share this idea to others and others agree with you, it becomes shared ideas, correct? When it becomes shared ideas, what will happen? When they make it into force, okay, suddenly their shared ideas become fact, become reality. It is a concept. Country is a concept. Now, when these shared ideas of countries become enforced, okay, now you need to pay, now you can go to jail, okay, right? It's enforced. It's a concept, but it's enforced. Wow. This is what makes us human, isn't it? Human is amazing. Okay? Just based on idea, we can enforce this idea into something new. Amazing? Have you ever thought about that?
I have.
You have, okay. So, okay, this is a little bit more philosophy, but based on this kind of thinking, suddenly you start to open your opinion, your perspective, right? To the world, correct? Oh yes, this is just concept, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, good.
So rich is just concept as well, and poor also concept.
Correct. It's a concept. Beautiful is concept, okay? It's true. Okay, I give you an example. during the French Revolution, okay, women who are beautiful are very fat. Why? Because at that time, okay, usually women who are beautiful are, if they consider beautiful, are actually rich, because the fat only, the lack of food, okay, make them, scarcity of food make them thin. Okay, only the rich actually fat. So then it creates an opinion that becomes shared ideas. It's a concept. Okay. In China, for example, for many centuries, they believe that woman who has actually almost no feet, okay, they even bind the foot of the feet of the woman so that becomes small. That is beautiful for them at that time, right? You probably learned this in history. So the concept of beautiful changed over time, isn't it? Wow, it's a concept. Nowadays, now you start to hear the word Bitcoin. Before Bitcoin, you will say money is something that you see the coin, the paper, okay? Okay, yeah, you can transfer the money. But suddenly, okay, money should be created by government, right? It enforced by government, correct? But suddenly, start to think, hey, money is actually concept. It's a shared ideas. People can create money now. How? Just making it as a Bitcoin is a computer money. When it becomes shared ideas, suddenly you can create money. Wow, isn't it? Now, many people start to create money. Okay, Facebook creating Libra, for example. Okay, they create money because starting to have a new idea. Oh, money can be created. No need to make into a government. Alicia, you make money tomorrow, okay? By creating a computer program. If you share ideas, okay, everyone agree with you, so become rich now. Right, because it's from the idea. Okay? So remember, idea alone is not so powerful. When the idea is shared, when people agree to it and enforce it, suddenly become powerful. It's a concept. So what do you think? When you learn about concept, is it something important or not?
Yes, I'm starting to think that my life is a concept also.
Yeah. Okay. Look at this. I give you warning, okay? Don't believe what I said in this class. I ask you to be skeptical. Okay. Right? I ask you to be skeptical. Don't believe what I said. Okay. Be critical. Okay. What I influence to you, not necessarily true. Brother, that's for my opinion only, not fact, right? But I'm trying to persuade you. Is it something interesting? Yeah. Opening your mindset, new perspective. Whether you agree or not, it doesn't really matter, isn't it? But something new. Probably you never think about it. Don't get crazy because of that concept, okay? Go back to reality. I think time is up. So see you next week, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Kardi.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. what do I fill in the topics at absent?
Oh, how many people who is absent, not who present, not who is present and absent.
Oh, all join up.
Topic today is about what? The fact and opinion and a little bit about concept and assumption, right?
Okay, thank you, sir.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, can you share your recording?
Oh, sure. I always share my recording. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay. But unlisted, okay?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.